I want to treat people fairly, whether they voted for me or not. I want to have a unified country. It's very hard because the media is so fake. The way you ask questions, every question is asked in a negative vein. There's a toy company that took a toddler's, whatever, but you don't talk about the fact that gasoline is down at numbers that nobody believes possible. You know why they're down, by the way? Drill, baby, drill. We're drilling like crazy right now.
We try to make sure every question is fair, Mr. President.
Look, every question you ask says a very negative slant.
No, but look, I'm just curious.
I'm fine for responding to you. I don't think you're very difficult at all to respond to be honest with you. But you know what? You should ask some positive things.
It is the Martha Zoller Show, and that's President Trump doing what he does best. And let me tell you something, folks. He is the most reasonable person that you're hearing on the stage. Jasmine Crockett just did an interview where she said people just want to get rid of immigrants so they can roll back child labor laws and have children, poor children, do the jobs that immigrants were doing. You know what happened in that jobs report? Is for the last 4 years, all the jobs have been going to immigrants and very few jobs have been going to American citizens. I don't know why they track that, but they do. In this jobs report, and it was ahead of expectations, the jobs went to American citizens and very few to immigrants. That's, and I mentioned about the MSNBC thing, where they're saying, how are we going to cover the 250th parade? I'm an Anglophile. I watch the VE Day stuff. There's checkered stuff in every history of every country, even your favorite country in the world, that you think is better than this one. And when I say you think, I'm talking about the people that would question how to cover a parade for the 250th anniversary of America. Even the country you think is the greatest in the world has problems. I remember my friend, Bob Andrews, who used to co-host with me, and he was one of the first Democratic legislators from this area. He was a brilliant guy, Jay Andrews' dad. And he said to me, we are the worst country except for everyone else. Meaning that every country's got problems. Every country has things in their history they wish hadn't happened. Because we're humans. But if you look at the balance of the United States of America, more people are breaking in than want to get out. Nobody's breaking into these countries that aren't in the West. Okay, you get outside of the Western world, the United States of America, Canada, Western Europe, nobody's breaking into any other countries except for ours and the rest of the Western world. Okay, why is that? Because we have freedom, but then we let people in that say, no, we want to institute Sharia law. No, we want to make it the way it was in the country that we left. And what I'm saying is, no, we're not going to do that. There is an American culture, and that shouldn't trigger you. If it does, look in the mirror and see what's wrong with you. I think it's extremely important that we look at all these things. Scott Bessent, our Secretary of the Treasury, did an interview because Warren Buffett recently announced his retirement. And Warren Buffett has been very quiet on the whole tariff discussion. Very quiet. Warren Buffett is 94 years old and he just retired. Logan, I'm not looking for that day, 94.
No, I'm not either. I'm hoping to retire, but well before then.
But he obviously was doing what he loved.
Of course, yeah. He loved what he was doing. And
he was sharp enough to do it.
That he was, and he also helped out a lot of people with their McDonald's orders for breakfast and everything.
And you know what's funny is he drove old cars. He lived in the same house he bought 50 years ago, even though for a long time, he was the richest man in the world.
That he was, yeah.
Okay. And he's still one of the richest men in the world. And maybe he's the richest again now that Elon Musk has lost so much money. But he had a saying, and Scott Bessent's talking about it. And this is what I'm going to say to all of you naysayers out there, the ones that protest against this country, the ones that say we're doing everything wrong, the one that won't give Donald Trump a chance. Here's what I say to you folks.
When I entered public service, I spent more than 40 years in the asset management business. There, one mantra guides one of the world's most successful investors: never bet against America. Warren Buffett coined the phrase, and it's been his lodestar as long as he's been in the game. Never Bet Against America captures a time-tested truth. The American economy is unstoppable. Throw whatever you will at our capital markets, the Great Depression, 2 world wars, 9/11, a COVID recession of the last few years, or sky-high inflation, each time the American economy gets knocked down, it gets back up again. And it gets back up even stronger than it was before.
And it gets back up because people take risk. Small business people, big business people, everyone in between. Government doesn't take risk. Government doesn't build anything, make anything, because they don't have any money without you. Okay? Government is a drag on the economy, should not be an economy growth. This is why we had the kind of inflation we had, because so much money was put into the government that they couldn't spend it all. Well, they did spend it all. But that's what causes inflation. You put a whole bunch of money into the economy, it makes inflation happen. Don't bet against America. Okay? And you know what? I'm getting really excited about 4th of July next year. I'm trying to find out where plans are going to be made and what's going to happen here in our community. I've reached out to the governor to say, hey, I would love to be a part of any kind of planning on a statewide level. I'm digging and looking to see what's going to be going on around the country, because I know there's going to be some once-in-a-lifetime things that I can take my grandchildren to and that I can go to that will make my parents proud. My parents have been gone a long time, okay? But they loved this country. And did they have everything go right in their life? No, they didn't. Okay, my dad had to change jobs quite a few times before he finally found the job with round-the-clock hosiery that he loved and he ended up doing till retirement. My mother had to start over in her career after she'd been home for 18 years raising children, and had to start over in her 40s and build a career until she was 69. She didn't have a great day every day. Neither did my father. In addition to the war and being a POW, there was no help for veterans when he got home. They told you to go get married and have babies. Well, he was already married and he had the babies, but he had a drinking problem. And he had a drinking problem because he felt guilty about surviving when so many young people had died. And it didn't actually come out until he was probably in his 70s. He never actually verbalized it. He just buried it. Now, you know what? Even with all that pain that he had, he was like the best father. And he wanted so much for us, and he believed in us because we were the future to him. And he could fix the mistakes of his life through us. And that's what we think about as parents, right? So never bet against America. And you know what? You people like Jasmine Crockett and the woman on MSNBC, who I don't even know her name, who's saying we need to fact check a parade that we're going to have for our 250th anniversary. We've got big problems we need to deal with related to that.